Where I find inspirations for my compositions, it's always quite different. Sometimes we start from art or literature or nature. Sometimes we have some keywords that I can build off on. Sometimes it's existing music that I think that might fit into the work that Jan wants to bring. Like recently we did this beautiful performance, Elle, était, Elle, Même, with Elle. And we use words, like we start with words like the fragility and blossoms and roses and red, twilight, winter, ice. So these are all things that you can bring beautifully into a theater piece. There is this scene where there are rose petals falling down from the ceiling, and Jan wanted me to translate that into harp music. And it's so similar. It's like the harp is such a fragile, feminine music instrument that we can easily translate something like that into a beautiful scene that it matches fantastically with the rose petals falling. I think playing live on your own music is an incredible freedom. It gives you the freedom to play every show in a different way. Sometimes you play more fragile, sometimes I leave room for the music that I wrote, sometimes I'm more powerful, sometimes I'm more like technically strong. It really depends on where and what the vibe also for the audience is. So it's like a fantastic way to explore your own music, and I still learn from it every time we play. I still hear things, or I still have ideas that I can maybe bring into the pieces. And at the same time, it is so important for the performance to have some cues that are set, a melody that falls in or a beat that falls in, and that they know that this is a song that we made, the timing also, and there was also room for them to improvise, and it just gives it just makes everything so much more pleasurable to play. It's not something that we have to repeat every performance the same thing. No, we can just play with it and have fun with it, I think. I think telling a story with theatre music is quite a challenge, because there are different ways to do that. For instance, when it's music only and there is a dance going on, I think it's very important also for an audience to hear some kind of building up which leads to a climax, and no matter how long the song is, I think it's very nice also for the dancers to have more and more and more of a build-up, and it depends on the style of the music that I can work with that. There are like little elements I can use to tell a story within the dance music, but when it comes to, when the music is underneath a monologue, it needs to be more fluent and soft, and it more depicts the character of the monologue who is speaking. I think it's more accompanying the actor who is doing the monologue, and I think that's very important to stay quietly in the same vibe of one monologue than to really build up, because it's not the place of the music to be their own narrative. It's the actor that's telling the story, and that's quite important. I would say working for Jan, the biggest challenge is time. Sometimes we have little time to work on our performances, but I would say it's also a positive challenge, because it makes you adapt very quickly to the idea what Jan wants, and sometimes we go 180 degrees to a different thing than what we started with, and it makes you adapt very, very quickly. And I think also as a composer, it makes you more versatile and be able to change and to explore genres that we didn't like. We can start with a piece of a movie or some literature, and to find something else, and then the genres that I can explore, it's super fast, on a fast pace, and I think it's only more enriching you as a performer, as a composer, to make everything like you fast. When Jan and I are working, it's like ping pong ball, like a ping pong match, like minds and music going back and forth, and I think it makes you it's enriching for the performance, I would believe. I think my favorite production that I've ever worked on was my first composition that I made for Jan, which was the Elle, était, Elle, Même. with Elle, était. It was very unexpected that Jan asked me to make music for this piece, because it was being written in the 90s and there was no music, only chirping of crickets. So to make a whole soundtrack for that was just extraordinary, and Jan asked to make a whole soundtrack with harp, only harp, and it was just for me at my first time making this kind of music. It was so inspiring, and it was beautiful to try and make like different harp themes and different things to make it work and to fit in the performance and the fragility with the text and the colors and everything. And I remember one of my favorite moments ever was, I think we were very close to the deadline of the tryouts, and I wasn't finished with my music yet, and I remember me locking myself all alone on a Saturday afternoon in the theater and just write and see what comes out of my mind, and just started writing and started playing, and by the end of the afternoon I had it. So it's just so close to my heart. It's so close to the thing that I think it's so dear, and it's so feminine, and it's so passionate, and at the same time it shows so many different colors of the harp that you can do. It shows vulnerability but also power, and I think I love to see this performance. I love it. It's one of my favorite shows that ever I worked on, I think. Yeah.